Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and I'm fairly mediocre at picking NFL games, but I'm with Jim McCormick, who is pretty good at picking NFL games. Hi, Jim.
Right above 500. Hello.
I am not, and last week I thought I went 500. I think I went a half game under 500. Dave Pyper is always the bearer of great news in that regard. And my God, our best bets, Jim, we have excused our performance over 12 weeks, 3 months of the season by saying, well, listen, we're picking every game just about. And, if you were really selectively picking, you'd obviously be doing better. And in fact, our number one games. That way.
Yeah. No, I'm more of a sweep the whole ocean better right now than a specific. I'm not very good at spearing right now. So.
It's rough. I mean, we're not the. First of all, we're not professional handicappers, obviously, but the Sharps are also taking a beating this year, and I'm not the only one to say it, but when every game is within one score in the fourth quarter, you just get noise. It's just a very difficult year, but we're going to continue to have fun and pick the games, and we'll see if we can convince you that we're getting them right as we're talking about them. On Thanksgiving, I'm like, I got the three, and then Sunday it just falls apart. Just not that good. But however, you know what is good? You know who is good? Not you. Certainly not me. But ICT Guy 45 in the comments last week picked the Carolina Panthers. We did not pick the Carolina Panthers. Neither you nor I.
Picked the other side as my best bet. So I just want to. I chose Nathaniel Hackett on the road. I just want to say it again.
So. Right. You were getting points. Were you were giving points? I don't remember. It was close.
I was talking about it.
It wasn't enough.
I was giving 2.5 somehow,
on the road. So. Unbelievable. Well, I did too.
It was the Darnold thing. The Darnold hair.
Right. Well, it's very thick and very lush, and it turned out that was enough. But congratulations to ICT Guy 45 for humiliating us. We, of course, when we get to the end of the show, we're going to ask you to put your best bets down in the comments. Again, we love looking at them. Dave Pyper always finds the ones that are right, and he will give us one for next week. We're going to open up Week 13 discussing my footy pajama Patriots hosting the Buffalo Bills. What I'll say about this matchup is, because of the playoff game last year in which Buffalo played probably the perfect game. Do you remember that, right?
Yeah. They just smoked them.
30-something points in the second quarter. And the
scored every drive kind of thing.
Never punted. Like Patriots kind of quit toward the second half of that game.
Yeah.
I think we have the sense that Buffalo is just like far outranks New England. And we write off the wind game in the first contest.
Like the weirdo run game.
Freaky, nobody threw kind of thing. The thing that I think we don't remember is the second game, the one in New England. Buffalo won it and kind of put the demons to rest a little bit, but that was a one-score game in the fourth quarter, and they were a dropped interception away from being from tying the game with a field goal or going ahead with a touchdown. The Patriots were. So this is a question. This is still, for me, a lingering question. As much as a skeptic as I am of the Patriots, I still wonder whether Sean McDermott is a little bit of a lunkhead and his team is maybe a little bit mentally fragile, and maybe this isn't a hill that they're going to be able to climb. They're in New England. They're giving 4 points.
Right. Yeah. I can see that. And there is this, it's not a narrative. There's the real thing where Josh Allen looks a little bit more wild right now. He's just
like somebody throwing with a hurt elbow. That's to me what he looks like.
Well, that, and I just think, I have no idea, but maybe the difference between the offensive coordinating shift, whatever. He's just freelancing more. The guy's just jamming, more of a jam band style that he has. Last year was a little bit more like, a solid Pearl Jam cover band.
The thing is, it wasn't. We think that, but it wasn't. It's like, do you remember the band Soul Hat? Like that's like 30 years ago. Josh Allen's playing like Soul Hat. Look it up, kids.
Okay. I like it. But I suppose so. Either way, I thought this was like kind of a soft line when I first saw it. Like I was actually expecting. So my first line was Buffalo -6. I know that sounds really big.
Wow.
So I'm going Buffalo here just because I also thought that there'd be more of a. It wasn't just my impression of the teams. I would probably say this is closer to it. It was more that I thought the public, Bills are such a public team. I thought it was right, but I also said. There's a lot of respect for Bill as opposed to the Bills here, because I just think they respect Bill.
I don't think the Bills are the best team in the league right now. I don't think
Right.
they're not playing.
I
don't think their defense is playing particularly well. You can kind of run on them sometimes, and I think Allen's elbow has been hurting him. Now, it's the kind of thing where he could come out and be just fine and absolutely roast the Patriots and perform like they did in the playoffs. I set this line at 3. So if it's 4, then I'm actually taking the Patriots. I think the Bills probably win, but I think the Patriots have the ability to keep it close. I mean, I obviously need weather. We need weather in this game for my bit to come through. Yeah. It's tough for the Patriots. I think there's a stat that this year, if a team scores 25 points, they beat the Patriots heads up. Like, you don't need, the Bills are going to score 25 points. This just in, right? So
it's like the Broncos thing. If the Broncos if they scored 19 points, they'd be like 8-1, or 10-1 or something.
Right, and the Patriots like they give up points to the Bears. Boom, they lose. If they stop you, they're not going to stop Buffalo. But I'm going to say they keep it a little bit close. Let's talk about the Justin Fields will he play line, because let me just say, Jim, I picked the lines before we guessed these games. I got 5 lines correct. I got 5 on the dot. And now Dave Piper's not going to say anything, but I will ask rhetorically.
You got this one right?
No. But it's going to come up. The reason I'm mentioning it now is going to come up in a second. Okay. I'm going to rhetorically ask Dave Piper, but he's not going to answer. Hey, Dave, am I allowed to abstain from 5 different games? And then I'm going to pretend there's Dave's shoe coming at me from Michigan, hitting me in the head, because no. So as we go along, I'm going to have to make picks in games that I don't feel awesome about doing it. And I wish I could do that with this game. I wish I could not pick this game, because my opinion of what I like spread-wise would change depending on whether Justin Fields plays. And as of our recording this, we just don't know. But at the moment, the Packers on the road are favored by 4.5.
Yeah, weird, goofy line. Just an ugly line. There's so much mystery here. This reads like a Fields is out line.
It does. Right? It absolutely
like last
does.
Week's, it's the same line, I believe, as the last week's Jets line. It's just inverse to meaning like they're on the road. They were on the road last week.
Right.
But yeah, I'm struggling with this, but I'm gonna go with Green Bay because I had it as if this is how I set the line as if Fields was out, and I had it as -5. So I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna do
weirdo road line.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't feel great about it. I do feel like if Simeon is the quarterback again, it sounds like, as of what we know as we're recording it, it could absolutely change in a few days, but it sounds like Rodgers will be able to go. And yeah, I just don't. That Chicago.
He's got the Chicago thing too. He's got nothing else left. He wants like one last little.
He's got to do something, right? He's got to do something. He's got to make some gesture or something.
Yeah. He hasn't done anything wrestling wise in a while, like anything that looks celebratory. So.
No, yeah, he's done some wrestling moves. Unfortunately, they've mostly been the part where you fall on your head or get hit with a chair. He's mostly done that.
He's did like a whip celebration at one point and just light candles, and it'd be cool.
Well, so I think we're both going to be on Green Bay there, but that's with the suspicion that Fields is out. If Fields is back, first of all, this line is going to move a lot. And second of all, if Green Bay's still favored and Fields isn't there, I might be apt to take Fields, but you take Chicago. But I don't know that for sure, depending on what the line is. All right, we'll get back to the rest of the games in a second. I want to thank DraftKings. We always thank them near the top of the show, because if you're looking for a place to play the games, I can't play there because I'm in California, but Jim can because he's in Pennsylvania. Dave can. He's in Michigan. And all they did was download the DraftKings app. They used the promo code HarrisTube. It gave us a little credit. It's not like we get money from that, but it lets DraftKings know that sponsoring this channel worked. So if you've been thinking about getting the DraftKings app, it really would help us out if you use the code HarrisTube. Plus, then you get a cool promotion, which is you pick one game in the NFL. It's a straight up bet, head to head, no point spread. If you just pick the winner of any of these games, even the biggest favorite of the week, and they win straight up, then you win $150 in free bets. In order to get that, download the DraftKings app, and please do sign up, letting them know that you found about it on this dopey show with these dopey moron picking games by using the code HarrisTube. And now we'll get back into it. The Steelers, having crushed my soul. My best bet was the Colts, and then I saw Matt Ryan on Monday night. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. The Steelers look like a quasi-professional outfit. I keep saying on the podcast that they've essentially morphed into the 2021 Patriots, where they're just terrified of their quarterback and they're just trying to keep everything really
it's a shell.
Simple and small. But they go to Atlanta, and the Falcons are a 1-point favorite.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 years, Pittsburgh did the weekend of Bernie's thing anyway, right? with Ben. So what I'm trying to say is, they've been there with the ushering the corpse thing. Whereas, like, not that Pickett's that. I'm just saying, like,
right.
They've worked at a handicap before at that position. I just think the Steelers are the better team, and so the line's small enough for me to take the Steelers. I just think with Watt, I think he's that good. I just think he's also like a multiplier. The defense wakes up, and Minka Fitzpatrick's supposed to be back is the idea. So, like, I just think they're good. So.
Well, Minka was back in that Colt game, and he did not.
Okay, right.
He did not play well.
No, he did.
He did not play well. I'm also I guessed this line. So this is one of those ones where I like, I don't want to play it. I guessed Falcons 1. When you guess the line is 1, you don't expect to nail it. It feels pretty.
No, that doesn't feel great.
Pretty stupid. Yeah, that's the closed eyes throwing it at the dartboard and then hitting your girlfriend in the eye.
Yeah.
That's what this game feels like, frankly, is a dart in the eye. I'll go with the Steelers also, maybe just based on the last thing I saw. Here's the thing. This is another college game. Both teams are going to play this like college game. And I said this in the podcast, but not cool college 2022 SEC. We're talking like Ivy League 1993, where, the Columbia running back is a future lawyer who's going to defend Clarence Thomas, like just
like off-brand Big Ten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Super
it's like
conservative.
Indiana versus somebody, Northwestern.
Yeah. As of circa 2003. Yeah. What's a running quarterback? We've never heard of such a thing. I mean, Mariota will run, but it's not the fun kind of running. It's the panicked, sweaty kind of running. So I think a close line is apt here, and I'm with you. I'll just take the team that has T.J. Watt. He's the best player on the field, so we'll say Pittsburgh. The Jets, newly hot with the unbelievably great Mike White, possibly league MVP. Yeah. You tell me. Yeah. He's going to Minnesota. Minnesota's outrageously considered a favorite against Mike White. It's an injustice. Vikings are favored. This
sounds crazy.
3.
And Minnesota, this pass defense has been pretty bad. I mean, they're allowing the most yards per attempt. Like, that's a goofy stat, but it's 15 games in, or 13 weeks in, and they're giving up a ton of yards, right? Either way, I can't believe, that Mike White's going to win a road game here. I had this line at -5 Minnesota. I had this weird 5 thing this week.
I had it at 4, so I'm on the same side as you.
And so I'm with the Vikings. I just think they're the better team, and they're more prepared to play like competent regular season football, which is what this is. And Mike White, I think, is gonna like just a little bit of it's not gonna be as fun this week.
I gotta admit though, Seven Nation Army is a really great song, and I'm being told that's a different White. I'm being told that's not Mike White. So the Jets defense is what is going to win this game or carry them, whatever, they have to do. We remember 2 games ago when the Cowboys assaulted Kirk Cousins and made it
it was ridiculous. And we were both on the wrong side.
Right, we were. Yeah. And it made it impossible for him to we'll make fun of Kirk Cousins with the best of them. He's skipping Death Rock somewhere out there right now. He is the corniest mofo alive. But it wasn't his fault, right? The Jets' path here is funky, great defensive line, funky pass rush, a lot of blitzing, and get to Cousins that way. Because I'm sorry, Mike White's not going in there scoring 35 points. People are nuts. People are kooky. Bailey Zappi was able to be really good for a couple of games when he had absolutely no pass rush and wide open receivers. That isn't a hard thing to do. I grant you, Zach Wilson couldn't do it. So I'm not trying to say Zach Wilson should be playing. It's fine that Mike White's playing, but
Chicago's terrible. Yeah.
And to watch that game was to feel like you were watching shell drills, like padless practice.
It really was. I was going to say it looked like Skelly drills. It looked like 7-on-7.
Yeah.
It was like
wide open. And the Garrett Wilson touchdown, the second one, the first one was a great route. I mean, that's he got held and still turned the guy inside out. But the second one, who's the safety for Chicago who was good?
The guys that ran into each other? Yeah.
Well,
Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson, he didn't run anybody. He was a non-contact injury who just fell down, and he's out for the season, hurt his foot. Right. And so
that's terrible.
Garrett Wilson's just like, hi, I'm wide open. All of which is to say I'm also on Minnesota and find the Mike White frenzy.
Also, Sauce Gardner, Justin Jefferson. That's cool, right?
It is cool. but I just feel like Sauce Gardner's going to lose that. And I also feel like we don't live in that world anymore. I mean,
we don't.
Like all you have to do is put them in motion, like.
Yeah, no. I know. Yeah. I just mean it's kind of like I want to see that though. Is what I mean.
Sure, it'll happen some. Yeah, it'll happen some. I think Sauce Gardner's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, we're going to get to much later. We're going to get to Marshawn Lattimore maybe being back for Mike Evans and a fist fight breaking out. Right. Like, I think sometimes the Buccaneers don't move Mike Evans around just because they want to see those guys like engage in some kind of Greco-Roman festivities. All right, both on the Vikings there. The Jags are coming to Dave Piper's neighborhood. It's now by law. There has to be an unbelievably fun and exciting Detroit Lion game at home every single week. I don't know what they're going to do when the Lions go back on the road. They're going to have to arrange like a tornado in Florida, or they're going to have to arrange like a hail of frogs somewhere in Boston, because they're going to need people to move games to Detroit, because Dave is now addicted to all these games that are in Detroit.
It's just it's great football. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like there's leopards or something. I don't know. It sounded like a lot of plague type things.
Right, plague, a lot of plague. I think it's going to happen. We have 6 weeks left in the season. It's going to happen. The Jags are coming to Michigan, and they are favored by 1. And I'm being told it's the first time since 1943 the Jags have been road favorites.
That's impressive. Yeah. That's impressive. I can imagine like the mic'd up pregame talk between Peterson and the knee biter and Campbell, and it just they don't say anything for 3 minutes, but they communicate. They're just just like grunts and nods and chewing tobacco. Either way, I'm taking the points at home because I can't pick between these teams really. I think they're both mistake prone. I think Lawrence played really well last week, but he's also just as capable of throwing away that drive.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, he did. Like very beginning of that last drive, he forgot that he was playing football for a half second and stood there as a pass rush converged on him. He fumbled, and his offensive lineman recovered. Rookie center, I think.
Right. Yeah. On that same exact drive, that's true. And they had that terrible third long. Okay, yes, this is all true. So yeah, I just don't believe in giving points with this team. So, that's it.
Absolutely agree. Detroit +1. Did I say Denver? Oh my God. We'll get to it. Yeah, we're going to get
Don't ever make a best bet, Denver.
Yeah, we're going to get to it, Jim. Unfortunately, we are going to get to it. All right. You.
Yeah. All right, listen. Yeah, Dave, first of all, Tennessee is a football team. First of all, it's rivalry that Houston doesn't have one. They took it from Houston, but I don't like Houston because Houston beat me in the World Series. So don't worry about Houston, but I can't really like these guys. I just like Jeff Fisher, 8-8. Go Birds.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We have Titans at your Eagles, and the Eagles are 5.5-point favorites. Which is that enough for you?
No, I didn't do the half line thing in my head this week. I was more normal, and I did it Eagles -6, and so I'll just take the half-point edge. I could also see this very much being a kicking game. I didn't realize this. Tennessee has only given up more than 22 points once this year. Like, they've really like you said before, like, they really they drag you into their style.
Yeah. And sorry to interrupt. Don't you think that's even less about the defense than it is about the offense?
It is. Yeah. No, it is. It is. They control the clock. Yeah. And so I think that's very possible. I also think that the Eagles are very good at playing that same style, and I think they can just do it more effectively and like suffocate them. So
I haven't kept track.
And Ryan Tannehill. So
I haven't kept track of whether I've been right on the Titans all the way through. No, because I got them wrong last week. I was on them against Cincinnati.
Right.
So, but it does feel like I've had a good finger on the pulse of the Titans. This feels like a bridge too far for Styles to completely bring the Eagle offense to its knees. I'm interested in what you think about. Clearly the Eagles ran like ridiculously well, and but still Jalen Hurts had to throw a little bit, and we've been kind of critical of Hurts the past few weeks. Like, are we getting regression? Is he really only reading one half of the field? Are the accuracy problems coming back? I thought he was pretty terrific last week.
Yeah, he was, and especially particularly some of like the timing on his step. Like he was throwing off of his drop back, like in cadence. I mean, in rhythm, and like it just didn't seem that was what we were seeing before. It all had to be 5 beats after the snap.
Right.
So,
Yep. All right. I haven't hit a no play yet. I think we're going to hit one here. We've got Deshaun Bowl. We've got Deshaun Watson somehow back in the NFL. I'll leave it to somebody who wants to live on the razor blade a little more than I do to make some crack about it. It just seems gross that Deshaun Watson's playing it all, and he is going back to the place where the fans all love him. I mean, I'm sure he won't get booed at all there in Houston.
Yeah.
The Browns, against pretty obviously the worst team in the NFL, are a 7-point road favorite. And I'll just tell you right now, I nailed that line, and I ain't playing this game.
There'll be some, I don't know, some small contingent of, divorce lawyers or something in the corner. They're like, yeah, Deshaun.
Go Deshaun.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it is, but they're there. Yeah, exactly. Come on. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Texans are this bad. I hate to say it. I think that the Browns just rolling them. I think it's more of a Nick Chubb thing than anything. The Texans are this bad. They've also, they're falling on the sword more than... we already thought that. I'm not even making a Lovie Smith commentary, but the entire season, this whole build is built to fall on the sword. And there's no lottery. This is an inverse property. They're getting the number one pick. I just feel like they're chasing it to the extent that this line's valid. So, yeah.
Slice for Bryce?
Yeah, I had it at -7. I just think that it's at least that. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. I'm gonna not play. Yeah. And Bryce Young being with the Texans next year would be more interesting than the Texans are this year. That's for sure. So the Commanders, pretty red hot. I don't think they played red hot against the Falcons, but like I said, I think the Commanders are another team that wants to play college games. They're very, very scared of Taylor Heineke, but they're going to the Giants, and on the road, they are 2.5-point favorites. Those Commanders are.
This is like the NFC East relay race of the embarrassing scatterbrain team that handed off to the other one. Meaning, the first half of the season was the Giants consistently winning one-possession games that they may or may not have been in place to win, meaning they were winning in those high leverage moments, which good job, guys, and now they've lost them, right? Yeah. And so I just feel like that's what the Commanders are now. And Kevin Durant calls them the Manders, and it's so bad. They've invited this on themselves, all of them. But I'm going to take the points with the Giants. I think the train can stop here, kind of. The Giants have been bad lately, but the difference between these teams, I do believe that the Commanders' defense. I do believe in the Commanders' defense, but I don't think the Giants are as bad as they've been lately. I think variance might come back on their side. They're going to come back.
I'm also on the Giants plus 2.5. I had it at Washington by 1. It feels like they're fairly mirror images of each other, except.
Right.
I trust at some point that we'll see the reins taken off the Giants offense before we see the reins taken off the Commanders offense. I guess that, I don't like it. I don't particularly want to be on this game at all, but I can't believe your entire time here was not taken up by the incredibly great record of the combined NFC East. Cause that's a huge, I don't know if you know this, Jim, but ESPN does 17 minutes a night on that.
Listen, if you can't find a way to talk about a guy who hasn't played in the league in a year, Odell Beckham, at all times.
Hey, so Commanders, Giants. Let's talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's my thank you. That was $10 impersonation of SportsCenter. Thanks, everybody. I used to work there.
Yep.
we got the aforementioned Denver Broncos. Really, really hanging tough. I think we could all agree.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the Broncos. They sure are a classy group who really hangs in there. I'm being told that that's not what they are at all. They are going to the Ravens, however. Two teams who, the Ravens are going to make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to do much. They can't seem to stand prosperity, and you're up 19-10 on Jacksonville with less than a quarter to go. And Gus Edwards' fumble was just I could feel the balloon just absolutely go out of them. But they are hosting a lifeless Broncos team, and they haven't been able to cover at all, but they are 8.5-point favorites are the Ravens.
The Ravens are like a semester ahead of the Packers at some junior college of how to not support your quarterback and also be disappointing. It's they're better than the Packers are at doing this. But
the instructors at that the instructors at that college are Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, I think.
Yeah, and it's like, is that Brian Billick? It's like, yes, it was. It's like, Jesus, he's sounds like mothball. But I've just been wrong about the Broncos all year, and they're bad.
Yep.
And I can't believe I'm going to go with them again and take the points because I think their defense is so good.
Yeah, me too.
And their defense is so good that this line is too big for a defense that good.
It is.
And I think Russell Wilson is really bad. I get that. I bought into that part now.
Yeah. Like, well, is he? I mean, I gave a whole big speech on the podcast.
Not bad, but he's not going to change. He's not going to save you.
Yeah, nothing good is coming in week 13 that you've missed the first 3 months.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm not missing. What I'm saying is I'm not missing the ingredient with Wilson. I suppose I just think that 8.5 is big for a team who hasn't. This is assuming that both extremes exist in this game. That the Ravens play well, and that the Broncos just are a meme.
I'm with you. And they are a meme. I mean, I'm also on Denver, and I'm about to scoop some poop on them. I had no conception of the Panther-Bronco game from last week except for the final score. Yeah. So I'm watching it, and it gets worse, and it gets worse, and it gets worse. Wow. And you get to the point where the defensive tackle is screaming at Russell Wilson on the sideline.
I saw that part, yeah.
And
that's exciting.
At that point, I said, I don't think they're going to let the coach get on the plane. Like, I think they're going to leave him at some terrible hipster coffee shop in Raleigh, Durham. Like, he's going to be he's going to be serving yogurt milk in people. He's like,
he might go to a Hardee's or something. He seems like a big chain guy.
I guess that's right. Maybe I think they would leave him at a hipster place simply because he would not fit in well.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, he's a dead man walking. That entire coaching staff is a dead man walking. I don't think any
they are.
Can't save it. I don't know why you kept him around this long. I think you should just probably have pulled the plug and not let him on the plane.
Weird.
And yet, I'm still going to take Denver because Baltimore can't cover. Like, I'm done. Like, thinking this is some really great Ravens defense, dude. If I have
flip, where's the switch for the offense?
If I have to hear and the defense, like if I have to hear, Patrick Queen is such a good draft pick. Patrick Queen, what a good linebacker.
He's terrible. They had to go after Roquan Smith because they don't believe in Patrick Queen.
And by the way, I watched that game and I heard Roquan Smith.
Roquan wasn't good.
One time. Yeah. Like, I don't think they're good on defense. We're romanticizing some myth that we have about it's Lamar Jackson and a really bad team. And he's a great player, but I think the team around him stinks.
It's also the post-Wink Martindale thing. Like, they're just not the same team at all. We used to think of them as like the blitz, the aggressive, the crazy team.
Yeah.
They're just kind of a normal scheme now. They're not that wild. They're just like a normal 2-high scheme. So.
All right. So now I don't like that game at all, and I like this game a lot.
Right.
Dolphins.
Yes, this is the best game of the week.
Coming to California to face the 49ers. I nailed this line. It's 4 points. The Niners are favored by 4. And there's a lot of stuff that San Francisco does on defense that you better not do against Miami. That's all I can say with that speed. Like,
right.
You better get pressure with 4. I think if you blitz Miami, I think you're in a lot of trouble. I
agree. I just think Tua is playing really well. He's getting the ball out.
Yeah.
He doesn't really try to win it. Right? He's just getting it out. And I had it at -3. Like, I do think San Francisco is the better team, at least home. This context. But I'm just going to take I think the Sensei loses. I think Shanahan, the Sensei, loses.
All right. So
I even think an outright might happen.
You're on Miami, and this is my second no play because I nailed it, and I know I'm going to be watching it live. Chris Raybon has already told me he wants to talk about it on the podcast, and I just want to kind of enjoy it without the stress of looking like a total jackass on this show. So that's my other. I nailed, like I said, 5 lines. I've picked my 2 that I'm not going to play. The rest I will. It's a great contrast. The fireworks are the Niner defense and the Dolphin offense. That's really what we want to see. And probably the way these things go is it's the other way around that winds up just determining it.
Right.
Do you think Miami's defense is good? Like, I had Scott Pianowski on the podcast telling me, he's willing to forgive Dameon Pierce a little bit because, Miami. And I'm like, what?
I don't. They're not that good. No.
Yeah, I don't think they're that good of a run defense, and I don't think that's an excuse for Dameon Pierce's performance.
Right.
Like, I think there's a chance that it's just really high scoring, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they sell out a little bit against the run. Like they do stack the box. Like they have like actual inside linebackers. Like in the year 2022. Do you know what I mean? Like Jerome Baker is just like I tackle people.
Yeah.
So they dedicate to it, but like I don't know if the Chubb thing works yet, and I don't know, but they're nothing special. I don't think on defense.
Yeah.
I think I think their numbers actually speak for who they are. They're like a league average defense.
Yeah.
Like
and that first of all scares crap out of me about Dameon Pierce, but also just says to me maybe this is
right.
34-31. You know, this might be a shootout, and mainly because I'm not sure there is a defense that stops the Dolphins' offense. It's pretty good.
It's really good.
The Rams are not pretty good, and the Rams are playing a preseason roster against the Seahawks, and Vegas seems to know it because the Seahawks on the road coming here to Los Angeles in front of no fans that will be rooting for the Rams are a 7.5-point road favorite.
Oh, man, this is gross because I'm just going to go with – I'm actually going to stick to process here. And I had it at -7, so I'm going with the Rams.
I had it -8. I had it -8, so I'm going with the Seahawks.
Okay. I know that Dave, like I know that we're gonna pick a name in the YouTube contest, and they might be the backup quarterback for the Rams this week, and that's cool. And we'll see what the auction is like this year for when the Rams try to beg for first round picks. But it's bad, but I'm gonna go with it because that was it is a lot of points to give on the road.
Oh yeah.
By the way, and I do think there is a chance for this to be a little bit of a. I think the Rams want to sloppy this up. If there's any pride in this team, maybe my line is correct, but it's very possible that this is just this bad of a team. You know, maybe they are the checked out team of the year. Like,
well, not even checked out, just unbelievable. Not Aaron Donald's
that's
now
what I
done.
mean, like decimated.
Yeah,
decimated. Yes,
yeah. They are truly decimated. It's not anything like the team that was a championship team, and I was a half point the other direction. I'm not trying to tell you that you're crazy, but the argument on the other side is Seattle scores against just about everybody. I think the worry that you would have if you're on the Seattle side of things, the worry that you have is that usually if you want to keep it low scoring, do the Tennessee thing, you know, make it like a 17-point game, Seattle's probably usually okay with that. They just want to score 24.
Pete's okay to get into a fight too,
Yeah, like they pretty much do what they have to do to keep up or not keep up. They're not usually scoring 40 points if you're scoring 7, you know, but I'm still going to take Seattle by a little bit. I'm going to take Seattle. All right, we a fun, high-scoring, likely game. Chargers go to Vegas. It's a rematch from Week 1, where
it is
one of the few games Week 1 I got right. Chargers. I think it might have been 3.5 over the Raiders back when the Raiders weren't nearly as problematic as they are now. On the road in Vegas, in front of probably more Charger fans than there are in LA. The Chargers are 1.5-point favorites.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's weird because it's a Vegas line in Vegas, kind of. You know, it's like a weird number that I couldn't really come up with. I had it at Chargers -3.
Me too.
So I'm going with the Chargers because I just think they're the better team. But what I'm saying is this does speak to some idea of whatever we're going to call it, regression to the mean or just correction for like how bad Vegas has played at the end of games. Like, obviously, you have to count the fourth quarter because that's how we work this. But they've been this competent team, then their head falls off. Like they're the Wile E. Coyote of the NFL. That makes no sense. And I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Yeah?
Well, the stick of dynamite on which they run doesn't explode till the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. There you go. Okay.
I feel like you're at a 1.5. You might as well just pick the team that you think is going to win. And I kind of think somehow, some way, the Chargers are going to win.
Right.
It would be better for them if they lost. It would be better for them if Brandon Staley wasn't their coach anymore. I'm so out on Brandon Staley since the Chiefs monstrosity, that debacle. And I almost was happier about the Raider future when it looked like they might get Bryce Young, when it looked like they might get a quarterback and because they can divorce themselves from Derek Carr. And so maybe this is what I want to see happen. So I'll say Chargers also -1.5. Big matchup at the late window on Sunday. If the Dolphin 49er game isn't the game of the week, then this one is, because it's a rematch of the AFC Championship game. This time the Chiefs go to Cincinnati and are favored on the road. They are getting 1.5 points.
Just really back to Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley seems like he is the friend that at first you trust, but then like a couple months later in college is like inviting you to a pyramid scheme.
He's
meeting.
the Pete.
That like he's already staked in it, so you know he's a real idiot because he's already spent money.
He's the Pete Buttigieg.
You know?
What's his name? Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah,
of NFL
exactly.
coaches.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Hey, making no friends on the left and the right. Let's go.
Yeah. He's like, it's like you're subscribed to my newsletter. I'm just like, how did you find my information? But yeah, I'm gonna go KC here. I just again using the logic that you just said. If it's a 1.5, I'll pick the team I think that wins. I think that's the Chiefs. The Bengals have been playing way better. They've been protecting way better. Barrow was not pressured at all by a really good Tennessee line last week. That's really impressive. But at the same time, Kansas City just keeps playing good football. And I also think Mixon coming back might be a little bit of a bad thing, only because Cincinnati goes back into its like 1999 shell sometimes. So
I'm on Cincinnati, and I actually thought he was pressured a little bit with Tennessee against Tennessee. He just didn't take sacks. I thought in the fourth quarter he was getting the snot knocked out of him, but he just made a few absolute dagger throws. It wasn't this way the first 6 weeks of the season, but I think since Cincinnati has started winning and playing better, I think Burrow's the MVP of the league. I think he's been outperforming what the average quarterback would do in these circumstances. Losing Chase, the offensive line, I still think is rough. They're designing an offense mostly until they really needed it in the fourth quarter. That's still all the 3-step drop, get it out of your hand, quick. You know, we cannot take the chance that you're going to get slaughtered within the first second and a half after the snap. But then they got to the fourth quarter of that game, which was very much still up in the air. We didn't know, like Tennessee could have won that game, but one guy had Joe Burrow and one guy didn't. I think Burrow has been absolutely spectacular. I think I'm going to take the Bengals. I put it at even. I basically said, like, if it was neutral field, I'd say Chiefs 2. You know, you're saying on neutral field more like Chiefs 3.5. You know, Chiefs maybe.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I think it's close. It's close. The Bengals are good.
I absolutely agree. All right, these last two games, did I nail them? I absolutely nailed them. But I'm going to pick them, Jim, because it's nothing but integrity over on this side of the camera. It's losing, a lot of losing. So it is some things other than integrity, but lots of integrity in addition to the losing.
Yeah.
We got the Colts. Do we really have to watch this? Do we...
I mean, I suppose. I mean, I just think like it's so much face. Like Jeff Saturday looks pretty good lately, I suppose. But like then you compare, it's like a before and after picture with him and McCarthy. It's like before and after, like Crackle Barrel kind of thing.
It's the Chiefs going to Dallas, and I thought you were going to go with faces. I mean, Matt Ryan is like unhealthily. My complexion is weird. My coloring, not always the most healthy looking. Sometimes people ask me if I have liver disease. Like, okay, I grant you that. He looks like a boysenberry. He looks like he is so like he's flushed the second he walks out on the field. He's sweating and purple and pink, and I'm like, dude, are you having some kind of cardiac episode? What is going on? And I mean, I think he is having a cardiac episode in that he is a gutless, heartless player right now. Dude, that Monday night game, Troy Aikman was basically calling him a coward through the entire game. You heard that, right?
Yeah. No, Matt Ryan runs around like he doesn't want to share his Netflix password. It's like it's not working.
It's the third and 9.
He looks incredibly old.
It's the 3rd and 9 2-yard pass, man. It is.
I know Brady broke our brains with regard to aging curves, but this is actually the other side of that, where this is older than I ever expected.
It goes away with not for everybody, but like whereas Brady keeps it going, for this guy, it just like boom, gone, and it's been gone for a couple of years. People didn't want to hear it, but all right. So anyway, I haven't
if Matt Ryan wasn't an NFL quarterback, like nobody would follow him on TikTok. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's I think like thoracic surgeons might for like a case study and sweating and turning weird colors,
cheekbones and stuff.
Yeah. Like house painters would probably follow him to like get swatches to compare next to his face.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. It's like an pale almond. I'm gonna go.
Well, we didn't even say the line.
Dallas,
we didn't even say the line yet. Sorry, that's my fault. I'm supposed to tee you up. It's Cowboys minus 11, so it is a big number. And I'm sitting here going, I'm gonna pick minus 11 because there's no way it's minus 11. I'm sure I'll be on a side, and then it's 11.
Yeah. I had it bigger than this. I had it minus 13. I also thought that because of last week had me the idea that we were just throwing around 2-score spreads like at ease between. There was a few of them last week between Kansas City and Miami, and I just feel like this is that kind of game. I think Matt Ryan's that bad. Here's what I thought about. I thought about Micah Parsons and Matt Ryan, and then I said 13.
Scared. Yeah, scared.
Yeah.
I like I said, I nailed it. I'm going to be on the Cowboys too, because if I have to be on one side here, it ain't going to be Matt Ryan for this week. And fine, go out Matt Ryan and only lose by 3 and make us look foolish, but I don't care. That was cowardice. All I can say. I mean, I'm being metaphorical. Like, I would be truly cowardly if I were there, obviously, but like, you can't play that way. He plays scared, and Aikman was so right. And you never, I think Aikman's smart. And I think he tells you stuff without telling you stuff sometimes. He's nice and uses cliches, but he was pretty outraged by Matt Ryan that game. Like, all you have to do to prove you can throw the ball down the field is throw the ball down the field. Yeah. Like you said it 15 times. All right, Monday night. It's a huge matchup for the NFC South because the under 500 Buccaneers are in first place and the way under 500 Saints are right there, right in the thick of it. They hate each other, and Brady plays really bad against the Saints. It's in Tampa Bay, and the Bucs are favored by 4.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I helped do the I helped do the projections for this game for ESPN. I helped write up some of the profiles.
In the middle of projections, did you just do a story about the Cowboys?
I just said, Jerry Jones is considering a different sponsor for his oil company that makes children swim in oil. Either way, the oil pools, but I'm going to give the points with Tampa Bay. I think this Saints team's pretty bad. I don't think this Bucs team's that good either, by the way. But I do think this offense is due for a little bit of fun.
I think the Saints defense suddenly got healthy, though. Like, did you watch the Niner game? Because
their secondary got healthy.
And they got Cam Jordan back. They got another defensive.
Yeah, Davenport's
healthy. Suddenly that looked like a legit unit, which is I thought the line would be higher than this, and then I went, I'll put it at 4 because then I'll be on the Saints.
Okay.
So I guess I'll just, to be different, because you'll probably beat me. Everybody watching, just go with Jim. But I'm going to, to be contrarian, I'm going to go with the Saints only because I do, it is beyond question that of all the teams since Brady went to Tampa that's had Brady's number, it's beyond question it's the Saints. Right. Like, they win straight up all the time against him.
They do.
And then I just want to see Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans just take off their helmets and their uniforms and just fight. I just want to see them fight, or start making love. Jim.
And who was that?
Start making love.
Who was that? Andre Johnson and the Tennessee guy. Who was that? And they loved fighting. That was so fun.
I don't know. You missed my line though. It was a pretty good line. Dave was laughing in our ears.
It was.
Dave was laughing.
It was. I'm sorry. I walked over.
Okay. Kiss, you guys. Just kiss, for heaven's sake.
They should make.
Yeah, they really should, because it's that sort of tension between them.
It'd be hard with the helmet.
Take them off. It's all right.
So they'd have to take it off.
Yeah, take them off. It's fine. It's much.
That's a penalty.
Much hotter.
That's a penalty.
It's offsetting.
You can kiss without.
If you're making out, it's offsetting.
It'd be so weird if they tried to get their tongues through the helmet, So.
Yeah, that would be. They would be popular if they could do that. They would be popular.
It would. Yeah. It would.
I'm gonna go Saints. I'll take the 4, but I don't feel great about it. You should probably ride with Jim on that one. Of course, as I said at the beginning, we like to make our best bets. Our best bets aren't very often best, but we'll give it a shot. Jim, your favorite point spread bet in the NFL for Week 13 is?
I'm using one of the. I just used the margins. The margins, and I just said I had the Bills -6, so I'll take the Bills.
Wow, it's another one where your best bet is going to be. I'm actually on the other side, so I feel like a Turk. Awesome. I feel like a Turk on that one. I'm going to say your Eagles. I'm going to say your Eagles -5.5. I like them to put up a good number, and for Tennessee, for us to find the limitations of what Tennessee can do. Now, I guess there have been times where teams have run on the Eagles a little bit. The Dameon Pierce had a huge game against them when they kept that. The Texans kept that game close for a while. So Derrick Henry does a full Derrick Henry, then this is going to look dumb. But I think, I kind of believe in the Eagles again. So I'm going to go Eagles -5.5. I'm certainly not going to pick any of the freaking 5 games that I nailed the point spread of. And I'm also not going to take the Broncos. That's for sure. Because you did that last week and it wasn't smart. And I learned something from your error. We would like to know what your favorite bet is down in the comments. We will pick someone who gets it right and likely humiliates us, and we'll shout you out during next week's program. And Dave Pyper is always down in the comments. He'll put the spreads down there, and he'll say hi to everybody for us. That's lovely of Dave to do so. That will do it. Jim, any parting words for lucky week 13?
I don't know. You were talking about Ryan Tannehill. I was just thinking about how he seems like the kind of character that in a football show would either get paralyzed or get written out of the show in the second season. So,
oh God,
you're probably right.
I hope it's written out. I mean, he seems like a
but I'm saying, or if he stays in the show, he would be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that doesn't seem as nice. That seems much worse.
Yeah,
it seems much worse.
It's just how his character would work. He's too good looking. It's not going to work. But it's like a weird good looking that like not good looking.
Yeah, he is kind of a weird non good looking guy. That is true.
Thank you.
That is true.
He's like Avatar good looking.
Yeah,
thank you.
He is that. All right. Well, so that's going to do it. We want to thank DraftKings again. If you're looking for a place to play any of these games, please do it at DraftKings and use our promo code. We would very much appreciate that. And we'll see you next time. For Dave, the producer, and for Jim, the scalawag, I'm Chris. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.